Welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this Fanta Crimson Sour Cherry. I think Sour Crimson Cherry sounds better, but Crimson Sour Cherry maybe works better definitionally. I do think it sounds a bit awkward. This is a limited edition flavor that's a tie-in between Fanta, obviously, and Xbox for their 25th anniversary, and also Diablo 4. There are some other flavors that have special packaging art. Like I think orange is Call of Duty, but I don't remember what the other ones are. And that's mostly just because I'm not that interested. This is the one that I'm most interested in because it's actually a new flavor. And yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to show up on camera, but this mostly looks black in person. Around the edges, I can kind of tell it's a little bit red. I think when it's in the glass and it's in a narrower column, I think it's probably going to be a lot redder. But aside from like around the little humps at the bottom, it looks mostly black and maybe just a little bit purple. Um, We don't have cherry Fanta here. I don't know if they make that at all. So I don't really have expectations around what this is going to taste like. But I like cherry and I like sour things. So I'm hoping it's good. Let's um let's get it in this glass and see about that color. Oh, it's red. It is definitely red. It should be red. It's crimson sour cherry. But again, it really doesn't look very red in the bottle. Like I can tell it's red, but barely. All right. It does come out very much like a black cherry type of color. Thank you, random person, for honking. Yeah, that color is actually pretty nice. That has a smell. It smells like cherry popsicles. Which I guess smell like cherry soda. I have better expectations for this now. I think a worst case scenario here is it tastes like medicine. I'm not sure what the best case scenario is. Let's see what the reality is. Fair amount of bubbles stuck to the glass, but not that many rising. Alright. Okay. We've definitely got something here. I am getting kind of a sour cherry candy sort of taste. When it's in my mouth, especially that like first taste, I do get that tightness up here in the back of my jaw. What's in here? Carbonated water, half fructose corn syrup, less than 2% of citric acid, natural flavors, caramel color, sodium benzoate, and potassium sorbate to protect taste. and red 40. Okay, so they've done this with red 40 and caramel color. They've used a lot of one or both of them. This is very dark in a way that's not really characteristic of something that is done with caramel color, or not in a way. Yeah, not very characteristic of something that's been done with red 40. Typically, those are just really bright, vibrant colors. But caramel color is something is what they use to dye Coca-Cola, and a lot of other colas, which are nearly black in a high enough density. And so it makes sense that you could get something very dark and then make it red with the addition of some red. So I'm not surprised that they can make this color with those dyes. It's just an unusual color. I like that. I think it's very interesting. I have seen sour sodas before, but I think this might be the first one that we have on the channel, and they're not terribly common. I like this though. I like it a lot. I don't know that I would drink it that often. It is a sort of candy like flavor that to me can be sort of overwhelming if you consume too much of it, which is really unfortunate because this being a limited edition flavor, um, I'm not really going to be able to. Oh, I'll grab one in a couple months type of thing. It's here, and at some point, it'll be gone. And we've had this for about a month, I think. So really, it might be gone any time. And I think that that's really sort of unfortunate, but also sort of works. It's unfortunate because I feel like this is a drink that I'm really enjoying having this once. I would not want to drink this all the time. Um, that sort of candy type flavor, I think I would get very tired of. Um, and that kind of makes sense for a limited edition drink. You want to make an experience, something that people really enjoy being able to try, but that they're not realistically going to buy a ton of. I think I think that's the best way to do a limited edition consumable like this. And I think they've done a great job of that here. I don't know if that was their intent, but I think they've done a great job of that here. I do get like like a sour cherry lollipop or like a sour cherry gummy. I wouldn't want to, eat them with a shovel, but they're really good on occasion. And I think that this is that kind of drink. I think if you gave me a whole case of this and told me that I had to drink it in 4 or 5 days, there's a solid chance that I would be tired of it by the end, that I wouldn't feel great about it. I do have some of that stickiness that I get from cherry Coke, I think, but only a little bit. Not enough to bother me. I'm thinking about it and I notice it. It's not really a bother though. It's just there. This really does smell like melted cherry popsicle to me. It smells really nice. It tastes nice too. As I get further down in it, it's not really giving me that jaw muscle tightness that did at first. But I think that's just me becoming acclimated to it. I think if I walked away from it for a few hours and then came back and drank some more, the same thing would happen again. And and that's nice. It's not that sour, I would say. As someone with a fairly high sour tolerance, but it is sour enough to sort of give you that experience. Yeah, if they released this hypothetically around this time every year, I'd probably get one every year or two, which is probably not enough for them to do that, especially considering they'd have to redo the packaging because you know it won't be the 25th anniversary of Xbox anymore, and eventually Microsoft will have no interest in advertising Diablo 4 anymore. So I don't expect this to come back, at least not in exactly this form. But I've been surprised before. So the conclusion here, yeah, it's really nice and red when there's just a little bit of it. My conclusion here is if you like sour cherry candy and you like soda, and I do, uh, both of those, um, you're probably going to think that this is awesome. And I do. But as much as I like sour cherry candy, I don't just eat it all the time. It's candy, you know. You gotta, eat a little bit here and there. And I think this is that type of soda too. I think this is a soda where you drink a little bit here and there. You don't, get 3 cases when it's buy two get one. You you maybe get 2 cases of the usual and 1 case of this, and drink that 1 case over the course of 2 or 3 months, and then I think you'll be pretty satisfied with your experience with it. And then probably not want anymore for a while, which is good because it'll probably be discontinued by then. I think if this is something that you think you might enjoy, you should definitely go out and try it because it is interesting and it is good. And you're not going to be able to do that for very long. Um, I don't know that there's an official discontinuation date for this. They don't usually release those. But I can't imagine it's going to stay around for too much longer. So get it while you can. I really enjoyed this one. I'd give, what do they call this again? I give the Fanta Crimson Sour Cherry a really good